And good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Schooner Morning Show. I'm your host, Mark Prevost, for a little while longer. And my replacement, Samantha Seabode, will be taking over, and she will be doing some interviews. I'm going to be interviewing her as well on the next session. So hopefully you'll learn more about her. But with me today, I have Peggy Roberge, who is the president of the Schooner Tenant Advisory Council. But we're not going to talk about Schooner. We're going to talk about Peggy. We're going to talk about you today.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Tell us, Peggy, where were you born?
I was born in Berlin, New Hampshire. Notice I said Berlin.
Berlin,
Right.
not Berlin.
No.
Boy, they get upset about that up there,
Yes.
don't they? Why is that?
Well, because we didn't want to be German.
Didn't want to be associated
Right.
with the German
right.
Berlin,
At that time.
Germany at that time. Right.
Right.
In the hospital or at home?
I was the first born in the hospital.
Yeah, because a lot of people that I interview, the tenants, say they were born at home.
Yeah.
My dad was born at home. My mom was born at home.
All my mother, brothers and sisters and her were all born at home. I was the first one to go to be in the hospital.
So were you the baby of the family?
I was the first baby. I was the first grandchild, my mother and father's first baby.
Wow.
Yeah, spoiled.
I would have never known that. How many siblings do you have?
I have 3. I have a brother and 2 sisters.
Are they local or?
My brother's in Las Vegas, and
Wow, what's he do there? Just
he's retired.
Retired and just decided to live
He was a
out.
policeman. He was in security in
Yeah.
one of the casinos,
I'll be.
and he retired to Las Vegas. He was a cop in Long Island, New York.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Wow, that was a tough gig.
I'm glad he's not anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a tough gig.
Yeah.
I'm taking my mask off because we have new CDC guidance for Maine and the country, actually. Peggy and I are both fully vaccinated, and we're a little distance away as
Right.
well. Tell me, did you go to school up in Berlin?
No, we lived there until I was 4. My father worked for WPA.
Okay.
And it stopped.
Yeah.
So he had to find another job, and he came south.
Uh-huh.
And he got a job at Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, the connection. There we go.
Yeah. And so we moved to South Portland.
Yeah.
And he worked all his life there, and I went all the way through school there. No college.
Yep.
I went to the College of Hard Knocks.
College of Hard Knocks, yeah.
And got married a year after I graduated from high school.
So
Roger.
how did you meet Roger? How
At a
did you meet your
Christmas
husband?
party.
At a Christmas party?
Yeah.
Was it a Coca-Cola Christmas
No,
party?
no. Just a friend had a party.
Yeah.
He was in the service. He was in the Air Force. Of course, the uniform turned me on, you know.
Boy, I hear that a lot too. How the servicemen in their uniforms really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was my first really steady boyfriend. Never had another one.
That is fantastic. That's a true love story.
Yeah, was, yeah.
Wow.
When I graduated, a year after I graduated, we got married
Yeah.
and started having a family.
Now, was he from the South Portland area
Yeah.
as well? Perfect.
Yeah.
And you had a family, how many children?
4.
4.
Yeah, 4.
4 children. 4. Boys and girls.
1 boy.
1 boy and 3 girls?
No. That's wrong. My family was funny. I had 2 boys. Both boys are bookends. But my last boy was born 13 years later than my 3rd one.
Oh.
That was a little surprise.
Yes, yeah. So you had a boy, 2 girls, and then a boy.
Boy,
Yeah. They're all fairly close by, right?
Oh, well, the furthest one away is in Bangor, and that's a girl.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
bad.
I have a son in Gray
Yeah.
and a son in Monmouth.
Monmouth on the lake, yeah.
And I have a daughter in Poland.
Gee, that's perfect.
And the other one's in Bangor.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right in Maine and all close by.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have children as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
You got a lot of grandchildren.
Yeah, well, I have 6.
6.
5 boys and 1 girl. And then I have 4 great-grandchildren.
Wow.
2 of each.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
It's amazing how the family trees
Yeah.
work and grow
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of my grandchildren is in Portland, Oregon. Wish he wasn't, but he is.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter is in Kentucky. She works for Churchill Downs
Oh,
in
wow.
the corporate office. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're the 2 furthest away. Then I have one in Massachusetts. My oldest and first grandchild works in Portland for Merrill Lynch.
Gee, that's great.
They're all doing wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, is that grandchild helping you with all your investments and
He's
everything?
got a,
Good, good. That's excellent.
I said, now remember, you don't do right, I'm coming to live with you.
You're right. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Good way to put it. So, what did you married Roger? What
Yeah.
did he do for a living after the service?
What did he do for a
Yeah.
living? Guess where he worked?
Let me guess. Wait a minute. Don't tell me. Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Did your dad get him in there?
He got himself in there,
He
really.
did. Yeah,
he was
yeah.
in college and he went to work loading trucks.
Yeah,
Part-time. When
Yeah.
he'd get out of school, he'd go over and load trucks.
yeah.
And he moved all the way up until he was manager of the new big bottling plant.
Oh, wow.
That's where he was when.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, started at nothing.
Yeah. So if you ever wonder why Peggy will not touch Pepsi, now you know. Coca-Cola, her dad and her husband.
Right.
Big wigs.
Yeah. And
Coca-Cola.
my son.
And your son too.
Yes.
Coca-Cola.
Put him through college.
So this is a family of Coca-Cola people.
For sure.
And you work too, right?
I
What
did
did you
sampling for him.
do? You did sampling for
Yeah,
Coca-Cola?
Yeah, and the grocery stores, you know, the lady that gives
Yeah,
out
yeah,
free.
yeah.
I did the.
Well, you know, I'm so surprised because when we did the Coke and Pepsi challenge out here, you picked Pepsi.
I did.
No,
not.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She knew the difference right away like that. But we did do the Coke and Pepsi challenge. That was fun. It was fun to have people,
Yeah.
and a lot of people couldn't tell the difference.
No,
they
no,
got it
no.
wrong 50% of the time.
Yeah.
And you got a 50-50 shot at
But
it. So.
if all you've ever drunk is Coke, then
Yes.
you know something else. is
Right,
different
that's right,
stuff.
that's
Yeah.
right. There is a distinct difference in the
Yeah.
flavor between Pepsi and Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And nobody knows that
No.
better than you.
No, that's
and
right.
your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you went on to work somewhere else too. I mean, you didn't,
Oh my God, Mark.
all kinds of different places?
I worked for the credit bureau in Portland. I
Yeah.
worked at W.T. Grants.
Yeah, I remember
I
them.
worked.
I remember, not
yeah,
remember,
a
but I
lot.
remember.
Yeah. I was in high school when I worked at Grants. Where else did I go? When I got pregnant, I stopped working at the credit bureau, and we moved to Augusta. He got transferred and
Yeah.
promoted and transferred,
Yeah.
and we moved to Augusta, and I did sampling up there. And what was I going to say? The kids were. My last one was born in Augusta, 13 years after the third one, the fourth one.
Right, right.
But
Didn't you work for Sears too? I
I
remember you
worked for
saying.
Sears for 25 years.
25 years for
Yeah,
Sears, selling the Craftsman brand.
That's
And
right.
everything,
Yeah.
probably.
Well, I started in the catalog department. They needed a part-timer.
Yeah,
I started in credit office. They needed a part-timer. And I worked 16 weeks, and at that time, they either had to get rid of me
yeah,
or put me full-time.
right.
They put me full-time. Then they had an opening on the floor. They
Yeah.
put me out in the hardware department.
Yeah. So you had to learn all
Well,
of
the
that.
government made them do that. That you had to put a woman in the hardware department.
Isn't that government overreach?
yeah.
That is so government
But I
overreach.
loved it.
Wow,
I
wow.
loved it.
Whoops, I probably should take that off.
So
My Boris Johnson look.
you look like you've had your finger in a
A
outlet.
socket, that's right. I'm trying to look like Boris Johnson,
Oh,
what is he, the Prime Minister of England.
Right.
with his hair all mussed up all the time.
Yeah.
But so, boy, you really were a busy lady. I mean, you've had quite the life.
I have just loved every minute of it too. I'd do it all over again.
Did you and Roger travel at all? What'd you do for fun? What'd you guys do?
After he retired, for fun, we brought up kids.
Right. And we're with them all the time on weekends and stuff and helping, I'm sure. And just the way you are, supporting your family.
Yeah. And after he retired, we went to Hawaii twice. Loved it so much. Oh, I'd have moved there if my kids had been there. It's just a wonderful place to go. You going? Have you been there?
We had company last night for the first time in a year. We had vaccinated company come over for dinner, and that was the topic of the whole night, was going to Hawaii.
Oh, it's just wonderful.
And I've talked to so many people that have been. You're another one now that just said it's really a must-see.
And the people that live there are just fantastic.
That's what I hear. They're just so laid back.
And they're so helpful, and they're just wonderful.
Yeah. So it is on our bucket list. We're not comfortable right now, probably for another year, doing any traveling or being around, because we don't want COVID. Even though we're vaccinated and we know that at least now we're not going to die from it or be hospitalized, most likely. We don't even want it in our system, so we're still being quite careful. So it'll be another year or so, I think, before we do anything drastic like that. But we are planning on traveling a little bit.
Then we went out to visit my sister out in one of my sisters lives in Milwaukee, outside of Milwaukee. We went to visit her, and while out there, we went to visit the guy that introduced Roger and I in California.
Great, yeah.
And his brother was in my class, so we went to California for a couple of weeks and visited both of them.
Perfect.
And we've been around.
Yeah. Any great hobbies? I mean, crafts, building an old car.
Now, Roger loved woodwork.
Yeah.
You've seen.
Yes, I have. Yeah, he was very good at it, too.
Yeah, he said if he hadn't been such a perfectionist, he would have been a carpenter.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have made any money of it.
No, because he would have been so meticulous with everything that he
tear it apart
and do it over again.
So he loved to make models. We've got a ship model on a desk upstairs.
Yes.
Schooner.
Yeah, that Schooner up on the third floor if you want to see it, in the lobby of the Camden elevator on the third floor. Roger made that ship. So it's been very good. No regrets. Everything's been wonderful.
Not a one.
Yeah, and you're doing great here. You're the president of the.
Love it here.
Love it here. Yeah. And I hope that continues forever. I think it's going to be wonderful. Yeah. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you'd want the public to know about you?
I like people.
That I will attest to. She is a people person. Comes down every morning for coffee, and she really is very social. And you've been a model example during COVID. I have to tell you, you always wear your mask, you're always where you are supposed to be, and you're not where you're not supposed to be, and you
don't have people that aren't supposed to be here.
Exactly.
Much as they didn't like it.
Right.
But thank God for the computers.
And there was a recent study out, now that you mention that, what was it? They did a study on seniors that had connectivity to the internet versus ones that didn't, and the ones that had it were like 35, 40, 80, I can't remember what the percentage was. It was a high percentage of able to tolerate the pandemic and more satisfaction with life versus the ones that didn't have it. Because it kind of kept you connected with the outside world.
Right, exactly. Every night we get together on the computer.
On the computer. And talk on FaceTime or Zoom or whatever. There's many things out there that you can do. So, boy, that's great. It's just great. Peggy, I knew you would be. You've been a wonderful interviewee and a guest here on the show. No, you're not. You're not bashful at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll wrap us up for our interview with Peggy Roberge. She's here at Schooner Estates on the third floor of the Camden building. It's your turn next, so please give us a call. Let us know when you're ready to be interviewed. This has been the Schooner Morning Show with your host, Mark Prevost, for a little while longer. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in.